number one.
Hello, Tony.
I just wanted to say I love you.
Oh, thank you so much.
I listen to you every single day. Every woman out there should listen to you.
All you young guys out there, listen to Tom. He's the master. He knows what he's talking about. I think you're a sexist pig, but my girlfriend loves you, so I listen to you.
Maybe you ought to ask her if you can have your balls back. Sounds to me like she's using them.
You constantly tear people down on the radio.
Yes, I do. And I made my way to number one by doing that.
You shouldn't be number one.
Well, clearly what I do works. What am I going to do? Change it?
You better.
I don't have to. I'm number one.
If you don't want to keep their men, I mean, there's three simple steps, okay? Keep your weight down, keep your looks up, and don't be a friggin' bitch.
No, those are three very good tips.
Currently, I'm with my girlfriend, and I plan on marrying her after college, but I don't want to date other people right now. My mom's saying absolutely not go out and date everyone, get experience, have sex, do drugs, and I don't exactly agree with that. What do you think on that?
I think your mom is a bright woman. Your mom has more balls than you do.
I'm a cop, and cops love Tom Leykis.
Oh, Tony, thank you, because we love cops around here.
There's a couple of things that keep me safe at night when I'm working, and one is God himself, and the other is Tom Leykis. They're both great. Now,
not necessarily in that order.
A lot of the people who sign up for the military are, 18, right out of high school.
Well, let's face it. How many people would actually go if they knew they might get killed?
You're right.
Anybody who's so stupid that they think that somebody's going to give them money for college for doing absolutely nothing, how stupid is that? That person shouldn't be going to college anyway. That's an idiot.
Yesterday she spoke with my past. She's like, I'm pregnant. Like out of nowhere, and I'm like, you what?
Let me ask you a question, Roy. What kind of birth control did you use?
None.
You're a moron.
I messed up.
How long have you been a student here?
About 6 months.
6 months ago, you had to have heard me talk about using condoms, didn't you?
Yes.
Why didn't you use one?
I'm a freaking moron. You're just pushing all the buttons, Yelling, screaming, ranting. You feel something.
Really? Well, I didn't ask for a review of our program or a critique of my style. I'll tell you what, when I'm looking for that, I'll call a consultant or a programming expert. But I'm certainly not going to take a 20-year-old caller from another country who's going to call in and tell me how to do my work.
All right, I'm a graduate student at UCLA.
Right.
You're the best course I take, though. I just want to let you know that.
Thank you.
Why are you so against women?
Oh, I'm not against women at all. I'm totally in favor of women.
Every time I listen to your show, it's all about...
I'm America's original feminist.
Ah, okay. Well, congratulations. I got to get the phone now.
One more question. How much do you weigh?
Like 150. Why?
I knew you were up there somewhere.
So now you're going to be a pervert and tell me what I look like? You want to know my hair color, too?
There. You're 150. Unless you're over 5'10", you're fat.
Yeah, you're just a big old...
Oh, now the husband, Mr. Pussy, Mr. No Testicles.
Mr.
Stop.
No
He's hiding behind his wife's skirt, gets on the telephone.
Hey, you trying to call my wife fat? My wife ain't fat.
She is
Your
fat.
wife's fat.
She is fat. And I don't have a wife. I'm not married.
You want to know what I look like? I'm 32 years old, got a f***ing mohawk, and got more balls than you ever thought about.
Oh, is that so?
Stupid.
You watch your mouth. You.
No, I don't need.
All right, well then I'm not going to let you talk on the air anymore. What do you think about that, moron?
Is it very noble what you do?
Absolutely. I think being successful is an admirable quality in this society. Yes.
What's your legacy going to be?
One of the most successful broadcasters of the 20th and 21st centuries.
It's amazing. There's a market for it, obviously, and that's
there is.
Commentary on
Not to mention all the broads I've tagged over the years. Do you know how many women I've entered over all these years? I mean, the number is staggering. Women who are so shallow, they say, are you really on the radio? And bing, bang, boom, their legs are open. Do you realize how many of those I've left in my wake?
You need to get some spiritual enlightenment.
Oh, dear, I've gotten enlightenment all right. There's nothing more spiritual than slugging a 19-year-old from behind.
Tom, you do not.
I've seen God.
From Los Angeles, it's the Tom Leykis Show.
All I can say is amen.
And now, here he is, Tom Leykis.
Thank you for tuning into the Tom Leykis Show. This is where America gets together to talk about the issues you really really care about. It's a different kind of a radio talk program. We're the radio talk show that is not hosted by a right-wing wacko or a convicted felon. No, I am your host. Write down our toll-free telephone number. You're going to need it. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our program. We appreciate it. I am still recovering from I don't know if it's a chest cold or the flu or whatever. Something that I encountered after coming back from the summertime temperatures of South America. Yeah. And many of you who are regular listeners know that I am the king of snot. I produce it at a faster rate than just about any human being. I mean, you thought I could produce semen. You would have no idea how much snot this body can produce. I'll tell you right now. Unbelievable. So, you hear my voice. It's taking a bit of a toll on my voice. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? It's Friday on the Tom Leykis Show with wide open telephones. Anything goes here, anything at all. We can talk about anything that's on your mind. Anything that came up on the show this week, anything you think we should have discussed. You can call up, yell, scream, complain, jump up and down. It's all fair game. As long as you're absolutely fascinating. If you're not fascinating, we kick your ass the hell off the air. I've been telling you about my upcoming trip to Nigeria to meet the president. As you know, I have been summoned by the president of Nigeria to visit the presidential palace to go over the details of a wire transfer. $172 million going to be transferred to my account at Wells Fargo Bank. And I have submitted my my bank account numbers, Social Security number, PIN numbers, so that we can effect that transfer. And I heard back from the president of Nigeria, and they wanted me to fly in. So I am going. Got a bunch of email about this. I want to thank you all. Thank you for your concern. I know many of you are concerned about this, but obviously, you have to take risks in life. Jason writes in, it says, "Hi, Tom. I was listening to your show and was disturbed to hear that you provided your information to the Nigerian president. I work for a Seattle metro area police agency, and this money-trusting scam has been going on for over 2 years in Washington State. Although the correspondence appears legitimate, it is not. I strongly recommend you immediately close your bank accounts and put fraud alerts on your name and Social Security number. Do this quickly before they obtain your account information and drain your accounts. Best of luck, Jason." Now, I'm touched by the outpouring of concern, but I'm a big boy and I know what I'm doing. Lionel writes in and says, "Tom, while listening to your program today, I heard something about a letter you got. This sounds like the Nigerian scam. Please search Google for this topic to learn more. Short story, don't reply to the letter." Again, you guys are timid. I'll just say timid. We're talking about this kind of money. You got to know what to do in a situation like this. I didn't blink. I have years of investment experience, Gary. You're absolutely right. I sent my account numbers in immediately. And I was rewarded. The president of Nigeria himself is flying me to Nigeria. I mean, what more do I need? Aaron in Covington, Washington writes in and says, "Tom, I am 17 years old and a senior in high school. I am currently enrolled in a business law class. We learned about a scam not too long ago called the Nigerian letter scam. There are many variations to this scam, but they're all basically the same. Someone in Nigeria emails or writes you and asks you to use your bank account to host a hefty amount of money. I'm not sure if this is what is happening to you, but it very well could be. I just thought you would want to know." Howard writes in and says, "Hey, Tom, I just wanted to let you know that the Nigeria inheritance thing is a complete scam. Instead, I started receiving emails myself about some relative dying in Nigeria who had $13 million in his bank account. Now, that's not believable, unless you're a black man. What is the likelihood you would have a relative in Nigeria? Maybe, Howard, maybe you are black. I don't know. Said I went along with it to see how far it would go, and it started to seem more legit the longer it went on. Then I did a random Yahoo search, Nigerian inheritance scam, just to see if something would come up. Something did come up, all right. Here are some links. Okay. Carrie writes in, it says, I don't know if it's a joke about the $157 million you talked about on your show. It's actually $172 million. But I thought it has to be a hoax. I don't know if this will reach you, but I thought it would pass it along. And finally, Steve writes in, it says, Steve, obviously with more than a touch of irony, writes in, it says, Tom, one thing you need to include, along with all of your other info, is your Social Security number. I haven't heard you mention that. Yes, they did ask for that, and I sent that in as well. They need this in order to submit the proper tax documentation. I know that you are a great American and would want the proper tax liability applied to that $157 million. When you get the cash, could you see your way clear to front me a little bit for a trip to Vegas? I'll need a gambling allowance and a nice room. Would be appreciated. Thanks, Tom. I know you won't forget. Signed, Steve. Okay. Well, again, thank you all for your concern. I'm touched by how much you all care, and I just want you to know that, you know, I didn't fall off the turnip truck this morning. I wasn't born yesterday. I know a good offer when I see it. And possibly as soon as this weekend, I'm going to head out to the Bradley International Terminal here at LAX, and I'm going to fly myself to Nigeria and meet with the president and see how we can expedite the wire transfer of $172 million to my bank account. I'll bring a Sharpie. It'll have to be another color, though. People in Nigeria they're not just black, they're very black. You have to have like a different color. Yes. So I might sign a rack or two. I've been growing up watching the National Geographic channel, reading the National Geographic. All I can tell you is that I might have to get on my knees to sign those racks, but I will do it. All right, it's wide open telephone to the Tom Leykis Show. Anything goes, anything at all. We can talk about anything that's on your mind. Anything we discussed on the air this week, anything you think we should have discussed, you can call up, yell, scream, complain, jump up and down. It's all fair game. As long as you're absolutely fascinating. If you're not, Dean J. D'Amelio, our bouncer, will bounce your ass right off the telephone. So if you want to give it a try, Grandpa, go ahead.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
If your boyfriend makes $28,000 a year, you are hideous.
The Tom Leykis Show.
The Tom Leykis Show. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our program. We appreciate it. Kelly on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom. How are you?
All right, Kelly.
My question is, I'm new to the area, so I'm just new listening to your radio show, and I love it. And I wanted to know if you have banged any celebrities.
Have I banged any celebrities? Well, certainly the most infamous person I ever banged was that porn chick, Savannah.
Oh, okay. I've heard of her.
You know who that is?
Yeah.
Who that was?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was cool. I met her one night with Sam Kinison, and we were off to the races. It was before she was Savannah.
Oh.
She hadn't even picked a name to work in porno yet.
Well, I guess if you were to bang Savannah, the best thing to do was bang her before she got into the industry.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. She was like 19. It was the best.
Is there any celebrity that you'd love to bang? If you had the opportunity, you would just go for it.
You know, I don't look at celebrities that way. I know most women do, and some guys do. I think guys tend to look at centerfolds.
Yeah.
And women tend to look at actors.
Oh, yeah.
And me, I don't fantasize about people that I'm not likely to meet, much less get.
Yeah.
So my fantasy is much more likely to be about a hot cashier at, like, Nordstrom, who's, like, really hot, and you know she won't be a cashier forever, than it is to be about, you know, Salma Hayek, who I think is just really super hot, but I'm unlikely to even meet her.
Yeah, I get your point.
So I don't fantasize about it.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Tom.
Kelly, thank you. I appreciate the call. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. It's Tracy on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Tracy.
Hey, I just was going to tell you, if you're going to Nigeria, you're going to need one of those silver metallic pens, the kind you shake.
Really? Why?
Sign some racks with that. And
There you go. Good idea.
Maybe gold would be more.
Gold pen like you would use to sign like a bottle of wine or something? Yes.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
And you see the hot stuff.
That sounds good to me.
Very good. Have fun.
Thank you.
Get your passport and make sure you get all your papers.
Well, I've got my passport. I'm all set to go.
Good. Have fun.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
Appreciate the call. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. A number of you have wished me good luck on my trip to Nigeria to meet the president so I can have that money wired into my bank account. I really appreciate all of your good wishes. This is Ryan on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hello, Father I never had.
Hello, son.
How's it going, Tom?
I'm doing okay.
Hey, good luck on Nigeria, man.
Thank you.
Check this out. I called in a couple days ago, but I ran out of time on your show. I was calling in about the family members, Get It On with Family Members show.
Yes.
And so it was about last year this time, just typical weekday. Me and my roommate are sitting up. I lived in Tacoma at the time. I live in Olympia, Washington now, and we're just sitting out there, and he gets this letter, and he opens it up, and the letter's just all decorated with stickers and all this stuff and glitter, and he opens it up, and there's two pictures of these girls, and a whole bunch of glitter falls out on his lap and everywhere, and you know what you say about glitter, man? It's like it's a attention whore. You know, it's a line leading to them.
Yes.
But anyways, these girls said that they're our groupies, and we had, because I'm in a band, it's called, ended up calling them the week later, showed up with about a case and a half, and they started taking off their clothes, man, and then the girls started getting it on, and they started going down on each other right in front of me and my buddy, and we were just kind of looking at each other like, is this cool, or is this weird?
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, they were freaking on it, and like one was 19, one was 21, and so anyways, we just had a big drunk orgy all night long.
Now these sisters were lapping each other up?
Yeah, big time, man. Like, I just remember, like, I was pretty drunk at the time, and I just remember looking at my buddy, and we were just laughing, dude. I mean, I didn't know whether to get, I mean, I got turned on, but I didn't know whether or not to be grossed out or turned on it. And it was just wild. It was definitely one of the most craziest nights of my entire life.
Listen to you.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Hey, Tom, wait, before you take me out, I do want to go out kitty porn style. I mean, Michael Jackson style.
Oh, Michael Jackson style. Of course. Here you go.
My greatest inspiration comes from kids. Why can't you share your bed? There was some action going on in my room every night. Who's the criminal? Who's Jack the Ripper in the room?
The Tom Leykis Show. This is the Tom Leykis Show.
From Los Angeles at 1-800-5800-TOM. Wide open telephones. Anything goes, anything at all. It's Bill on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, how's it going? Earlier this week you were talking about the lady who had 6 tuplets. And how God, the man said God had blessed her or whatever and such. But I just wanted to say God gave us a choice. And if you make a choice, such as using fertility drugs.
God did not give you a choice. God did not create those drugs.
Well, exactly. God gave man a choice to create things or not to create things. He gave us all the tools, and we make choices in life.
And then God blessed these people with 6 children in critical condition.
I agree.
Thanks a load, God.
The choice that he made was bad.
Thanks a
I
lot.
think it was a good choice. God didn't make the choice for them.
You think it was a good choice?
No, not at all.
I don't think it was a good choice.
It was a bad choice, but God didn't bless them. God gave them a choice. And
they said God blessed them, and I said no, he didn't.
No, I agree. God didn't bless them.
There you go. So we agree.
Okay? But no, we didn't agree because you're saying there's no God. God gave us what other animal makes a choice?
Huh? My dog, for example, decides whether he wants to get up on the bed or get down.
No, he doesn't make a choice. He just does stuff out of habit or just necessity. He doesn't do anything for any other reason except for...
How do you know what reason a dog does something?
The animals don't make choices.
How do you know that?
Because I look at dogs. I have 2 dogs.
Oh, it's an opinion.
The only thing they do is survive.
You just don't know what choices they make or how they choose to make them.
They don't make choices at all.
You don't know.
I do know.
No, you're arrogant. Like most people who believe in God, you are arrogant. You believe that you know things that are not knowable.
I think that God gave us all the tools to use, and we make good choices or bad choices.
God didn't give you fertility drugs. And by the way, what choice did you have when you are there on your knees praying and you're suddenly swept up by molten lava? What choice did you make there?
I don't ask God for anything.
Where did you have a choice there?
God, the planet makes earthquakes, molten lava, all those things.
The Earth does that.
Exactly.
But didn't God create the Earth? Doesn't God control everything?
To survive.
What?
And God created the Earth to survive.
I'm asking you what choice the man made who was on his knees in Colombia. He was on his knees praying in a church, and suddenly he was engulfed by molten lava. I want to know...
to get up and leave.
How could he? He didn't know the lava was coming.
If he's sitting on his knees and molten lava comes and hits you and you don't see it, then I'm sorry, okay?
I see. So God made him stupid.
No, God didn't make him anything. God gave him a choice.
So he chose to be swallowed up by the molten lava.
Yes, he did.
All right, you're an idiot. That's enough. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Let's say hello here to Alan on the Tom Leykis show. Hello.
Hey, Tom. How you doing?
Okay.
Good. I'm calling regarding your Nigerian expedition.
Yes.
I was contacted a few years back by supposedly a barrister from Nigeria.
Yes.
Through the Internet.
Yes, Miriam Abacha. I believe I spoke to her, too.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I ran with it thinking that it was a legitimate, opportunity. And basically it got to the point, and this whole money situation was so they could build a stadium in Nigeria for the young people, and they were going to transfer money to my account and then transfer it back, and I was going to be paid this huge sum of money for having this money transferred to my account and then basically having it sent back to them. Anyway, what happened was I contacted or was in contact with a gentleman for quite a while, ran up a phone bill of about $1,000. Finally, it got to the point where, the money, they were having issues with getting the money transferred, and they needed money to make this whole thing come through. I, like a fool, wired them money, thinking that I would get it, obviously, returned back to me, only to find out that after the money was wired, I never heard from the guy again, and basically tried, and I was telling...
well, thank God I'm not dealing with that barrister.
Well, you know what happened too? After all this took place, I told a friend about it, and he found out some information, and I had contacted the FBI and told them of my situation, and basically there was a gentleman that I spoke to that had returned not too long before from Nigeria investigating these such type of situations. He was telling me that when he returned, he had about 100 calls on his answering machine from people that,
how can you besmirch an entire country? I mean, just because somebody was dishonest in Nigeria.
Yeah. Well,
does that really reflect on the entire country? I mean, what if a scam artist in the United States contacted somebody? I mean, would that mean all 300 million of us are dishonest? I don't think so.
Absolutely not. But one interesting factor, the fact that this FBI agent told me that, he said when they were there, they have no way to trace these folks, and when they were there, they saw that they had run, telephone lines to the telephone pole so that they could use this to contact and make these calls so that you were able to reach these people, and they had all kinds. The guy just told me there was just a real
well, I have an invitation. It looks awfully official. I've been invited to the presidential palace in Nigeria.
Well, you know what? I received documentation with barristers, imprint, and all kinds of stuff that looked...
You're not trying to tell me I'm being scammed here, are you?
Well, I can tell you this. The FBI agent told me that there were people, or had been people, that had gone to Nigeria and did not return.
Maybe they liked it there so much and they had $172 million in the bank?
Could be.
I mean, who knows? I've never been there. It could be a great place to live. I don't know.
Well, all I can tell you is I wish you the best. And,
thank you.
I'd be real interested to hear your story when you return.
Oh, I can't wait.
All righty, Tom. You have a good one.
All right, Alan. You too. Appreciate the call.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-866. The Tom Leykis Show.
Let's say hello here to Derek on the Tom Leykis Show.
Tom, how you doing, my man?
Okay, Derek.
Now, I agree with you pretty much in almost everything you have to say. Your comments about relationships are pretty much dead on. But when you talk about race relations, when you talk about affirmative action, you come off like pretty much every other white guy I've ever met. Like
how so?
Well, I'm white. Let's just preface by saying that.
Of course you are. I'm amazed how many black and Latino people agree with me, and it takes a white guy to call in from Washington State to tell me what a bastard I am. Go ahead.
But you think after, 200 years of oppression, all of a sudden we make some laws in the 60s, and everything is supposed to be on a level playing field. It's not on a level playing field.
Yeah, but you know what? My health is not going to be a level playing field. I'm going to hire the best person I can get to do brain surgery or whatever. Anybody who was allowed to pass with lower grades than anybody else will not be hired for the job.
Look, 85% of the world, 85% of politics is white.
It has nothing to do with it.
White people are in charge.
It has nothing to do with it. You know what? When you're operating on my brain, I don't care about any of that stuff.
It does have something to do with it because, blacks and minorities weren't even allowed to drink out of the same...
Yeah, you know what? As far as I'm concerned, they should be able to drink out of the same fountains, eat at the same restaurants, get the same educations, etc. I am totally in favor of equality, completely.
Yeah, you guys didn't think about that until laws...
No, don't tell me that you guys... believe me, I was marching for civil rights when I was a kid. I have been in favor of every law that has come along to equalize
Most of you white people have been...
Most of you white people, you're a white person.
Exactly. I think it takes a selfless person...
You're a white guy who thinks he's black.
I think it takes a selfless person to be in favor of affirmative action. Of course, you're not going to be in favor of it.
I have no problem with affirmative action, but I'm not required to hire people who benefited from it.
Oh, they're not hire people, but schools. You've made comments before that schools shouldn't be letting people in on affirmative action.
I believe that the score should be the same for everybody.
Okay, well...
That's called equality.
It wasn't until the 70s that Ivy League schools were letting minorities...
I don't care. You know what? We're talking about people who were born in the 80s and 90s now.
But it's not on
the 70s has nothing to do with it. Anybody with good grades can get in and should get in, and I don't think that we should be making exceptions and saying, well, the poor black people, they so dumb, we got to let them in with lower grades. That is the most racist thing I can think of.
Well, let me ask you this then, Tom. Why do you think 85% of the corporate world and 85% of politics is white? Is it because black people, minorities are lazy? Because you have to think that, because it's just not...
No, you don't have to think that. There's any number of reasons. I've known... by the way, I grew up, pal, for your information, I grew up in a largely black and Latino neighborhood.
What does that have to do with anything?
Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't you just sit back and listen to the radio, and I'll explain it to you. I'm not going to let you keep yelling over me, you moron. I grew up in a largely black and Latino neighborhood. I know exactly what blacks and Latinos go through. And I'm telling you that many blacks and Latinos do not become CEOs and executives of companies because they have peer pressure not to go to college, not to finish high school, peer pressure in the case of some Latinos to drop out in the 8th grade and go to work and help the family. Who are all these Rhodes Scholars who are not becoming CEOs? I want a list of the names. I haven't seen it yet. And you will note that there are many people who have succeeded when they've wanted to. The owner of the Anaheim Angels, Arturo Moreno, for example, made $1 billion in the billboard business in Phoenix, Arizona, and bought the Anaheim Angels and is one of the biggest payrolls in the American League. And Robert Johnson, the man who created BET, there's a guy with a couple of $1 billion. Oprah Winfrey has a couple of $1 billion. You know what? People who want to succeed do. Those who don't cry about affirmative action and try to get in with lower grades. And the bottom line is I'm not against affirmative action. I'm in favor of it. And if anybody wants to hire somebody who's black or Latino because they feel sorry for them, that's fine. If I need a brain surgeon, I'm getting the guy with the highest grades in school. That's it. End of story. Has nothing to do with racism. I will hire anybody of any race that I know had grades equal to the best grades there are. But anybody who slipped through because you were scratching the bottom in order to let a few people in who didn't have as good a grade, I'm sorry, not going to hire them. Not going to hire them as doctors, attorneys, accountants. I'm not going to do it. End of story. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Earl on the Tom Leykis show. Hello.
Hello, Dad.
Hello, son.
Listen, I've got a real serious issue right here. I've known this chick for about 2 years, and I've been banging the crap out of her for about the last 5 weeks.
Uh-huh.
I'm on the way to work right now, and I left her in my house, and I don't know if I just made a big.
Does she live in your house, or is she just visiting?
No, she doesn't live there, but.
Why do you leave her in your house?
Well, no, just today. I just left.
Why ever do it? Why?
Why? Well, I don't know.
Well, bad idea.
Laundry, dishes, that kind of.
Yeah.
Excuse me. That kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, can I tell you something? She's also going to go through your phone bill, your voicemail, answer your telephone when it rings. She's going to know everything else that's going on in your life. You think that's good?
Horrible idea, Tom.
Yeah. And that's exactly what chicks do when they're alone in your house when you're not there.
Guaranteed, right?
Well, I would say 9 out of 10 times, probably.
Yeah,
that's what people do. They go through your medicine cabinet. You got any herpes medication, any jock itch cream, any of that stuff that you wouldn't want chicks seeing? She's going in to take a look.
Take a look.
Right.
I
feel good about that?
No. Well,
why would you even think of leaving some chick alone in your house?
We've been banging the crap out of each other all morning, and I'm a little light in the head.
Yeah, well, you know what? When you're done banging, you say, hey, I got to go now. And I'll tell you what, I'll talk to you tonight. And she leaves at the same time you leave. That's it.
You're the man, Tom.
All right, Earl. Thank you for the call.
Tom Leykis.
1-800-5800-TOM.
Tom Leykis.
1-800-5800-866. What is your take on Internet dating?
Most of the women are fat and don't like to send you pictures.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Tom Leykis. Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. This is Eric on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
What's going on, Tom?
Not much, Eric.
Not the happiest guy in the world.
What's the matter?
Well, your guy probably already told you, but seems about 2 weeks ago the problem started when I take a dump. For some reason, when I'm completely done, there's nothing left inside of me. My butthole stays open.
Really? Okay. And what is your question?
My question is, how do I fix that? I'm not going to go to a doctor.
That? All right. Well, actually, it's funny you mention this because we've decided to call upon one of cable TV's premier experts in this field, and he has an idea for you.
Look for the areas. Fill that space, all right? The whole idea about creating focal points in your room is keeping your eye trained for those little details. It's those little details that make the home yours.
All right.
Okay, I have no idea what that guy just said.
Just put stuff in there to fill it in.
Don't put stuff in there?
No, put stuff in there to fill it in. Fill in the space.
Look for the areas. Fill that space, all right?
Fill the space.
Yes.
Okay, with any kind of material or asbestos, what do I use?
Don't use asbestos and do not use a penis.
Okay, foam, anything but asbestos and penis.
Yeah.
That's what you're telling me?
That'll work.
Use the what? I'm sorry?
Nah, that'll work. Maybe try a tampon or something.
No, it's you need to see the hole before you say try a tampon.
That big?
I need to try a soccer ball.
Really?
Not a soccer ball, maybe a tennis ball.
Now, are you still able to fart, or is that a lost cause now?
It just comes...
Can't even fart anymore.
Really? Yeah, I mean, it goes down, but it takes about 15 minutes. I got to walk around with a stink,
Really? Wow.
So anyways...
By the way, attention advertisers, you too can reach this prime demographic. Well, Eric, I hope that was helpful to you. We always believe in calling in an expert when possible to help out with your questions.
I'd like to thank all of my guests today. They did a swell job.
1-800-5800-TOM is that telephone number to reach us on Wide Open Telephones every Friday on the Tom Leykis Show. You can email us here, and we do read that stuff. All of that rambling narrative that is sent to us. You just write to Tom at blowmeuptom.com. Tom at blowmeuptom.com. If you've got comments about the show, you can call our comment line. The number is available to you 24 hours a day. Area code 310-842-9592. That's 310-842-9592.
The Tom Leykis Show.